I'm doing a dish later where I want to have confit shallots on the side, so I thought I'll show you how to make confit shallots. It's a lovely thing to have that on the side of lots of dishes. It's one of those things that can just elevate a dish if you're doing a dinner party or whatever. So I've just got 3 banana shallots. I've peeled them. I'm just going to tidy up the ends. I have left the root on. I've preheated the oven to 210 degrees. These are going in a piece of foil. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just sort of creasing up the corners and making a little parcel. I'm going to drizzle on about a tablespoon of olive oil, salt, and then you're going to seal this parcel, but you want to have you don't want it to be like closed up really so it's squashing the onions, because you want some steam to be created in there. So it's quite a loose parcel, but you don't want steam to escape. I know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. I'm sure there's a chefy way of doing that, but there's a parcel. It's got room for them to steam. That's going to go in the oven for 30 minutes and we'll check them then. Oh, let's see how these are. Careful when you open it, it'll be hot. Test them with a sharp knife. They should be completely soft. They are, they're perfect. I'm going to leave those to cool and then I'll show you how we finish. So just halve them, and you can either just put them under the grill or you can get a burner thing on them. So when you're ready to serve your confit shallots, you can either use a blowtorch to just get some colour. Those are beautifully charred. I really fancy dauphinoise potatoes, and it's one of those things you always think of about cooking for a crowd. Well, I think there is no reason why you just can't make a small amount if you can find a small enough tin for just 1 or 2 of you. So I'm starting by putting, I suppose, that was about maybe a bit less than a cup of milk, so maybe 150 ml of milk, and I'm going to put in about 70 ml of double cream. I'm going to season that well with salt and pepper. So I've got my mandolin, and you're going to grate straight into the milk. The reason for this is as you grate this, it will produce the starch liquid, and you want that starch to go into the potato mixture. I know that's making me nervous. I need to get one of those metal gloves you can get. So I've peeled, I think I've peeled 5. I've stopped double dipping because I've been told off so many times, apparently because I'm an example to people now. So I'm using the safety guard and making sure I keep my fingers. Obviously this will be more than enough for 2, but the point is it gets better with age. So you can go back to it. The messy bit, you want to actually completely coat that so that they're all covered between all the slices in that lovely milk and cream. I'm going to gently heat that and stir it every so often to make sure that it's not sticking on the bottom for about 10 minutes. Take a garlic clove, you can leave the skin on, cut it in half and use it to rub all over the tin in which you're going to pour the potatoes. These have cooked in the cream, and you can see the cream and milk has actually thickened up, and that's because of the starch in the potatoes. I've got about 50 grams of Gruyere that I'm just going to gently, that will melt very quickly. I've preheated the oven to 140 degrees. You can put in some thyme if you want. I'm just keeping it really simple today. Spread them out, be careful it's hot. Finish off with a little bit of pepper, and this will go in for 50 minutes. I love it. So this was in for 50 minutes at 140, and when I checked it after 50 minutes, it still looked a bit pale on top, so I just whacked it up by 10 degrees. You can just check that's gorgeous and soft. Gratin potatoes. Oh, and a note on the pan, otherwise they're a bugger to clean. The best thing to do when you've eaten all your potatoes is soak. Pans are much easier to clean if you soak them. I will be sharing the recipe for gratin potatoes. They are just going in the oven to warm through. They're already cooked. I've got 2 chicken breasts that I salted earlier. I have patted them dry. You can either put in some vegetable oil or melt some butter, but I have schmaltz. The pan doesn't have to get too hot. I'm going to put the chicken in skin side down, and just let that chicken skin chestnuts. It was a small handful, and I am just roughly chopping them. I've got some mushrooms. I will be putting those in the sauce. In this pan, I heated, that's about 100 ml of chicken stock, and I have put in some dried mushrooms, which I'm now going to take out. I've also got some thyme, some double cream and masala. If you're going to cook a lot of my recipes, I would say to get masala, because I do use it a lot. But if you haven't got masala, okay, these have had about 5 to 10 minutes. You can see the edges are starting to turn. The underside is lovely and crispy. I'm just going to turn them over and cook them on the other side. These have had a couple of minutes, and I'm confident enough that in the time it will take me to cook the sauce and the resting time, that will help finish the cooking, are my mushrooms. Next thing going in is a splash of the masala, just enough to, that was probably a couple of tablespoons. I think I underestimate. And bubble that until it's almost completely evaporated. Masala has almost completely evaporated, and I've now got the soaking stock from the mushrooms. Using my truffle shaver, which has never seen a truffle in its life, but it's seen hundreds of cloves of garlic, is I'm shaving in a really big fat clove of garlic. This is beautifully reduced. I've only got about 50 ml of cream, so I'm putting all of that in. I'm going to drop the heat right down. I'm putting in my chopped chestnuts and the chopped thyme, plenty of pepper, give it a stir. So I would start with a slice of the potatoes. I would then do a generous spoonful of that mushroom and walnut sauce, the chicken over the top, and then I've got my on the side. It's very brown, but it's what I want for an autumn dish. Pan fried chicken with confit. Oh God, what's it called? And a chestnut mushroom sauce. Oh, look at that.